So I want to say this. I do think it's pretty goddamn ridiculous if you're a family man to be sitting there putting hard eyes under random shorties pages. I think that is ridiculous. You can look, but you don't have to comment. Like it's you can look, but you don't have to gaze. You can look, but you don't have to drool. Like there's a certain level of decorum that you're supposed to separate you as a guy in a relationship from a guy who's single and available. You can fantasize all you want, but you don't have to make the Homer Simpson noises while you're doing it. You know what I mean? Like we sounded like Homer Simpson around a donut with the oh and the drool, and like you have a little bit of decorum.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you, sir. I think we may be saying something similar.
Yeah, we
I,
said. I'm just
yeah,
saying that is embarrassing to a woman, and a woman who's trying to figure out how to gain her husband's attention may look at the fact that you're looking at these types of women, and it may influence her to attempt to become the object of your desire. So it
fair.
can have influence over someone who has decided they want to spend their life with you.
I just think that it's okay. I was responding to what DJ So Lovely was saying, and this is again, this is me. I'm speaking for me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because it will definitely trigger me. I think sometimes there are women who try to say what men should acquiesce to as far as how they move as a husband or in a relationship. But we give them room to still live within the realm of fantasy. The reality is you can be with somebody that you love to the moon and back, but there's certain you're never going to get 100% of everything you want. Now, I'm not saying you need to display this to the globe, uh, to the internet. I know men who are married and got lowrider posters in their garage right now. Their wife is happy, he happy, whatever. And that's what they do in their household. But what she said, and this is what I took from it, is that once you arrive at now being a husband, it's supposed to come with this, you know, this act of sorts. And that may be true, but I think that it's contradicting because then on one hand, we're saying, well, people want to express themselves the way they dress. And then, well, if you're in a relationship, well, now this is how you need to act. I would like to say we should give room to what they choose to do in their relationship. To the embarrassment, if it's coming from the wife, that makes sense. How it's viewed and perceived from others, 9 times out of 10, it's come from people who aren't in that relationship. And that's left to their interpretation. But that's how I see it.
I think we moved the goalposts a little bit because we went from, I mean, the topic is women. So when I brought up being embarrassed, I don't, I mean, I appreciate the topic, but at the same time, it kind of switched from me talking about women dressing to talking about how men embarrass women. But as for the internet issues, I guess this is something I don't have any experience in, but the equivalent to embarrassing your woman outside would be, like you said, True, um, staring at another woman out in public or something like that. Yes, that's embarrassing. It can be embarrassing. But the reason I say that men don't like to be embarrassed is because for men, I this is just my view, but I believe that it's more important for men to not be embarrassed than women. Women, women, everywhere there's beauty. So if a man is noticing beauty all around the world, I don't see that as an embarrassment unless you're acting stupid. If you start acting stupid for beauty, then okay, that's one thing. But for a man to notice beauty around the world is not embarrassing to a woman. But a woman is supposed to hold herself and be less accessible to men. So a woman being out there and being overly accessible is extremely worse. It's a worse offense than a man seeing a woman or noticing beauty.
They want to pose this question. Felicia Rashad mentioned dignity and grace. Do you think older generations are out of touch, or are we just redefining what those qualities look like today?
Um, might be both. It might be both. Felicia Rashad has some scantily clad pictures out there. I looked them up. They're there.
What?
When she was younger, yes. Do y'all want to see some?
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's not explicit, you got a
I
link.
have to I have to turn up my computer. I'll send them. Um, Felicia Rashad has some pictures when she was younger. Okay, which Okay, it's not a big deal. Most women, when they're younger, they dress a little bit sexier. They dress a little bit different than they do when they're older. And I think that as we age, we become, with age brings wisdom, with age brings experience. And we've been there, done that. So it's easy for us to speak to young women and say, hey, there's a pothole coming. But sometimes people have to go in the pothole. Sometimes people have to go through life to understand what works, what doesn't work for them. And I think that it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a growing pain in life. Just the same way, I'm sure there are many men that when they were younger, they used to dress more flashy, you know, they used to do certain things that they don't do as older men. They realize that it's not on them, it's in them. And that's something that you learn with age, with wisdom. You become a little bit more conservative and you understand, like, look, what I have to offer is not on me, it's in me. And these are just lessons that you learn as you go through life. So I don't think there's anything wrong with just giving people space to grow. That's it.
All right. Go ahead, Aisha.
I just think that it's not a bad thing to operate with grace and dignity. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And I do agree with DJ, like as you get older, you change, your mindset changes. But what I am seeing on social media is there is no age. Like everybody is getting BBLs. Everybody 45, 50, they on the internet half naked. So I think that that's what we're seeing. And these are people that are supposed to be examples. All of these women probably have kids. They have sons, they have daughters, and then their daughters think that it's okay to dress this way. So I think that it's important for us to like have some decorum. Like I said before, I agree with Felicia Rashad, and I don't see anything wrong with her having pictures back in the day because she's learned and she has wisdom. And I think that it's too much in our face. But I also think that men are the reason why it thrives.
You said men are the reason why it thrives. Why is that?
Because that's what they desire. Um, that's who is liking the photos. That's who is going to the strip clubs. It's the rappers that are putting these girls in their videos. They are making it popular. If the men didn't set that standard, then the women wouldn't be doing it.